And so as Paul is sitting in this Roman prison and he begins to think about his life, the ups and downs, everything he's gone through, the promises of God, his time as a Pharisee, his time as an apostle. And so he makes this really important statement. He says in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, he says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Right? He says these three things. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. It's amazing to me that he can write these words, that he can be so joyous in a moment of understanding what is staring him down in the face. Right? Jesus says himself in John 16:33, he says that in this world you will have trouble, but we have great cheer because I've overcome the world. And our spiritual walk, any kind of journey that you go through in life is going to be a fight. And you're going to have to fight the good fight. Because sometimes we go into fights and we have this zeal, we have this fire about us and in our stomachs and in our bellies, and we're so excited, but then Satan hits us in the mouth with something happens and we're rethinking everything. That's what happens. But the object is not to quit the fight. The object is to keep fighting the fight. Mike Tyson has a great quote. He says that everybody has a plan until the first punch is thrown. And we all think about this world, this being within Christianity and being believers as this perfect, just pleasurable thing. But there are the ups and there are the downs. Right? Paul says it himself in Romans. He says that the present suffering is nothing compared to the glory that we shall one day receive. And so you got to fight the good fight. And you got to finish the race. Listen to me. You got to finish the race. There's that in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, at about verse 24, Paul talks about how all the runners in a race run. And he says, run in such a way to win. He says, I don't run aimlessly, but I run as somebody with a purpose. I run as somebody who understands what the end looks like, and I just got to get to the end. The middle's kind of blurry to me. I know what the beginning is, that moment where I step into my faith and I've declared myself to be a Christian, and that middle part is kind of murky, but I know what the end looks like. And so as I'm running this race, I just got to see the end, because the end is where the prize is. And this is the thing we have to understand about our spiritual journey, about when Paul says, I finished the race. The winning in this is finishing. Because listen to me, your faith is sometimes it's going to start off as a sprint. And then you're going to slow down some. And then you may pick it back up. And then he says this. He says, I finished the race and I've kept the faith. Listen to me, I've kept the faith. And I think what God is saying through Paul in this, what Paul is trying to convey to us is, yeah, I've had to fight. And yeah, I finished. But it was all because of my faith. Galatians chapter 20, it says this, that I've been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I that lives, but Christ that lives in me. The life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith. Listen to me. The life I now live in the flesh, this life that I live every day in the flesh, I live by faith in Jesus Christ, who loved me and he died for me.